for the 2016 Chinese Grand Prix. And the lights are out and away we go. After a pretty decent start, we've still got Lewis Hamilton behind us. And here we are, Romain Grosjean. He's ahead of his teammate and he's behind a Renault and his engine's gone. And in fact, Gutierrez, not looking in his mirrors. I mean, he doesn't have to let Rosberg through. This isn't a lapped position, this is a race position. But Gutierrez holding up Nico Rosberg, and we're going to go around the outside of Rosberg and Gutierrez. Nico Rosberg's overtaken us with a blown up engine and he swerved into us. The rain started falling about 40 seconds ago and it's already undrivable. We caught up to Bottas, but the thing is though is the Williams team want to bring in Bottas now and us a lap later, but there's no way I'm coming in a lap later. So what we're going to do is we're going to dive it up the inside of Valtteri Bottas.
Some information on Vettel. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
There's Ricciardo streaking past Sebastian Vettel, but Vettel, you know, I thought he's miles ahead. You know, he's lost a bit of time, but oh well. That's literally us right behind. But we've got the slipstream and Daniel Ricciardo. It's now a case of can we outbrake him? No, we can't, but he's going to leave us the space. I mean, Ricciardo just... Lewis Hamilton, helped by his teammate retiring, helped by his teammate sideswiping us, but he's going to take a comfortable win at the 2016 Chinese Grand Prix. So well done to Lewis Hamilton there. And provided we don't stuff it into a wall, no we don't, and we're going to come across the line for second place at the Chinese Grand Prix and our first podium in the 2016 season.
This is Formula One.
Right then guys, so here we are for the fourth part in my F1 2016 Williams career mode here, looking at the laptop and just seeing how the grid's shaping up. Obviously, well, I've reduced my chassis weight since the previous race, and Manor have also applied some upgrades as well. So looking at how the field stacks up, really Manor are still the worst team. We're now the third best team, having overtaken Red Bull, so things are looking a little bit better, having, you know, now the fact we've reduced our chassis weight. And into practice, it's just the usual standard practice affair, doing the track acclimatization. And yep, we've met the purple score there, so that's going to give us some nice resource points for us. And yeah, basically just your standard track acclimatization. And then it's on to the tyre wear. Now, the tyre wear, in the previous 3 races, I couldn't actually do the tyre wear test, where I couldn't get any reasonable score. Russia, I could actually do it. It's the first time ever I've been able to do it. I only met the green score, but hey, that's considerably better than I did at all of the previous tracks, so making progress there and showing that, you know, we might have good race pace for Russia. And as we can see, we're back looking at the car upgrades available, and we're thinking about reducing the drag of the car, and that is what we're going to do. So we'll get that upgrade for the next race, which I believe is the Spanish Grand Prix. So, you know, the car's still developing, we're moving our way up the field, which is good to see. And then onto the qualifying pace, and we've met the green time already, and on the second lap, yes, we've met the purple time. So basically, all in all, a great practice session in Russia, by all accounts, really. So that's great to see, and yeah, shaping up nicely for the race, really, as long as we can get a good qualifying. And now we beat our teammate Bottas in the rivalry, so now we got a new rival, Sebastian Vettel. Pretty tough rival to get, but he's had a bad season so far. But anyway, let's just see how everything goes in the qualifying report. Qualifying in Sochi, Russia, was the usual affair for the first 18 minutes. Both Manners will take up the back row for the Grand Prix, with Haryanto the quickest of the two. Next up is both Saubers led by Marcus Ericsson, and finally is both Renaults with Jolyon Palmer just ahead of Kevin Magnussen. Into the second qualifying session, and the heavens opened, and that saw the shock elimination of the Williams of Nathan Quinn all the way down in 16th place. He wasn't the only shock elimination, as Max Verstappen didn't fare much better to qualify in 12th for the second race in a row. 15th and 14th are both Mexican drivers led by Sergio Perez. And finally, both Toro Rossos also found themselves eliminated in Q2, with Sainz in 13th and Kvyat in 11th. So with Quinn and Verstappen really not faring well in the rain, that means the top 10 is slightly different and lines up like this. Both McLarens are on row 5, led by Jenson Button. Next up is Roman Grosjean and Nico Hülkenberg, who both outqualified their teammates by 7 positions. Then it's Valtteri Bottas and Nico Rosberg. Lewis Hamilton is only 1 place ahead of his teammate and main championship rival in 4th. Daniel Ricciardo had an impressive qualifying session to start in 3rd, but it's an all-Ferrari front row with Kimi Räikkönen a quarter of a second faster than his teammate to take pole position. Right then guys, so here we are on the race strategy screen. As you can see, a one-stop strategy being suggested by the team, obviously. With such low tyre wear at this circuit, it's no surprise there. So starting on the super softs and then finishing the race on the soft tyres. So, you know, 16th place, really not a good qualifying, but it's quite weird because in China I did well in the wet conditions, but in Russia I didn't. And maybe it's because in China it was progressively getting wetter, and in Russia it was wet from the start. I don't know, honestly, but regardless, 16th place behind Esteban Gutierrez and ahead of Jolyon Palmer. So as we can see, we're going to start the formation lap. And anyway, onto the grid for the 2016 Russian Grand Prix. The lights are lighting up. And it's underway. The lights were on for a really long time there. And we can see lots of variable starts there from everyone else on the grid. We got a Sauber and a Manor being left behind there. We've got ahead of a Toro Rosso, and we got the pack charging down towards turn 1. We've got cars almost going 4 abreast, certainly 3 abreast. And we're going to try and make a move. We're right behind Max Verstappen. And there's been an incident in the first corner, and our teammate has spun out there. Yellow flags, literally everyone coming to a stop, and the virtual safety car has come out. The first time in this series, well for me at least, that the virtual safety car has been released. So, pretty good there. We made up 5 places from the start. We jumped a couple of people by just getting a better launch, and then we just had the inside line going into the hectic first corner. And speaking of which, let's have a look at this. So Bottas try and make a move down the inside on Sebastian Vettel, and 3 into 1 really doesn't work there. I mean, both Ferraris were going side by side, and Bottas tried to join in on the action and just couldn't. So, well, I mean, it's good in a way. We gained a place on our teammates, so suddenly now we're looking better. The better of the 2 drivers, and on board, I mean, we get a better idea of it. Bottas had a pretty good start, to be fair to him, but then could have got 4th place, but just a little bit too greedy going into the, I say the first corner. I mean, that's the first proper corner, but I think officially that's the second corner. Yeah, and it's just such a hectic start once again from Vettel. It was just a case of 3 into 1 couldn't go. In fact, to be fair, it was more Daniel Ricciardo that was alongside Vettel than it was his teammate. But actually, Vettel got past Kimi Räikkönen because of that. So it's now Vettel who's in 2nd. And Hamilton got off to an amazing start. So a pretty decent launch, instantly getting past Ricciardo and Sebastian Vettel. So he's alongside Kimi Räikkönen. He's already considerably ahead, obviously, with that Mercedes car noticeably quicker than the Ferrari car. Inside line, first corner, bam, good drive out, and Hamilton went from 4th to 1st. So, basically, in all of that, I've gained 5 places. Hamilton went from 4th to 1st. Vettel went from 2nd to 2nd, but he passed his teammate. And anyway, the virtual safety cars ended, and we actually closed up to the back of Max Verstappen. And it looks like going under the bridge, we're going to get past Max Verstappen quite easily. So we're up into a points place already. We got both McLarens ahead, and anyway, as I was saying, so Hamilton's moving from 4th to 1st. Vettel got past his teammate. Raikkonen's dropped down, and I think Ricciardo's still in 4th. And anyway, onto starting the 2nd lap, easily get past Jenson Button. And Roman Grosjean, I think we're going to get past 2 cars on the start-finish straight. Just showing, really, the straight line. Just how great our car is in a straight line, really, and I think that's why we were so bad in qualifying, was because of the wet conditions. Our car just isn't suited for that. And anyway, now we got both Ferraris battling out there. This is Kimi Räikkönen, who's going to try and retake the position from his teammate, and yep, down the DRS straight. Obviously, I don't think DRS was active, but yeah, regardless, Kimi Räikkönen has moved into 2nd place. So we've still got Lewis Hamilton leading it by quite a way. Well, it was quite a way, but Kimi Räikkönen, he is on top form at the moment, and now he's definitely got DRS on Lewis Hamilton, and easily got past. I mean, I don't know where Kimi Räikkönen has got this speed from, but look at him, taking the lead from Lewis Hamilton. More impressive stuff, but anyway, now we got Daniel Ricciardo, and he's got a decent run on his former teammate Sebastian Vettel, and it really was a case of polar opposites. I mean, Raikkonen was extremely quick in that Ferrari, and Vettel not so much. It was quite weird to see, but that means Ricciardo's now in third, so the running order is Raikkonen, Hamilton, Ricciardo, Vettel. We're down in 8th, and it took us a little while to catch up to Nico Hülkenberg, and thankfully we're going to get DRS on him, because I don't think we would be able to overtake him without that. And yep, got past Nico Hülkenberg up into 7th place, and now the next guy ahead is Daniel Kvyat, quite a way ahead, and obviously it's his home race, so he's going to be even more determined than usual to have a good result here. And there's Nico Rosberg, who's now making a move on Sebastian Vettel, and Rosberg just got off to a poor start, really. I think he was slightly held up by the chaos Valtteri Bottas caused going into the first corner, and Rosberg impressively holding it around the outside of that long turn 3, and yeah, he's done it. I mean, that is Nico Rosberg getting past Vettel and up into 4th place. So yeah, the running up, basically, I may as well say it now, the race was way more interesting from other people's perspective than it was from mine. There's way more highlights from other people than there is from me, basically because the race was quite boring from my perspective. But anyway, now we've got Max Verstappen, who obviously is directly behind us. He's going to try and get past Nico Hülkenberg. We saw that we got past Hülkenberg. Verstappen made a little bit more of a meal out of getting past Hülkenberg, but he did get past him using DRS, and now we've got Max Verstappen to worry about once again. So obviously the two drivers who just did really badly in qualifying. And now we've got Lewis Hamilton. He's going to try and retake the lead of the race from Kimi Raikkonen going into the first corner, and easy as you like, Hamilton retaking the lead, and I reckon it could stay like that. But I mean, who knows? I mean, Kimi Raikkonen was on top form early on, and now we got Valtteri Bottas, who was actually behind us because of the chaos he caused. He's one of, if not the first guy to come into the pits, so he's on the super softs. Is he going to pit onto the softs? Because it might be a little bit too early for him to pit onto the softs. He might have to go into the mediums. We will find out all in due time. So we're in 7th place at the moment. We've got Max Verstappen right up behind us, and our tyres were really starting to go off at this point. Max Verstappen able to keep his tyres going a little bit longer, but he locked up his front left wheel going into that corner, able to take the position from us, but done his tyres no good in that exchange. And yeah, we thought about making the move, but we just don't have the grip at this point in our tyres. And going on to start lap 11, we're up into 6th place as someone has come into the pits. That's Sebastian Vettel. Daniel Ricciardo is also coming to the pits, so we're up into 5th place now. So we're trying to extend our stint out longer than those guys who obviously, unless Q3 was wet, qualified. Oh no, because you'd carry your Q2 tyres. No, it doesn't matter. We're just taking our tyres longer than they are. So we're in 5th place at the moment. Now P4, so who's coming to the pits now? Is that, it could be Rosberg, it could be Raikkonen. It's Rosberg and Raikkonen actually. So we get past Rosberg, so does Daniel Ricciardo, who's not too far behind us. And coming out of the pits, we're going to try and race Kimi Raikkonen. And whoa, he's making himself known, putting himself very close to us and basically saying, don't try and get past me, you know, because you'll ruin my race. And yeah, we think about getting past, but there's no point getting past him, and we don't have the tyres to be able to do it anyway. So that's all well and good, to be honest. Lap 12, we're going to try and dive it up into the pits. And as you can see on the car damage indicator, we've got a little bit of front wing damage. Now, this race was recorded before the latest PS4 patch, so I couldn't tell the team not to replace the front wing, which is unfortunate because I would quite happily have run with that mildly damaged front wing, but you know, the boys, the pit crew, they want to replace that front wing, so that's what they're going to do. So that's cost us about 6 seconds there, so that's all well and good. Bottas has jumped us in that exchange. Perez, Grosjean, Gutierrez. I mean, look how far down the field we are now. It's tragic. So P16, I think that's a slightly warped position. I think there are other people who do need to pit again. But at the moment, P16 basically helped by the fact that, well, A, we tried to extend our stint out, and B, Williams were determined to replace my front wing. But anyway, I mean, we got loads of guys ahead, and they're just going so slowly. They're too busy battling with each other at this point. Gutierrez, Perez, and Grosjean. And we got past Perez. We're going to get past his compatriot Sergio Perez. Won't be able to do that quite this moment in time. Gutierrez almost made the move back on us. And going into the penultimate corner, yep, we're going to make the move on Perez. And now what about Romain Grosjean for 13th place? Will we be able to get DRS on him? Not, well, we might be able to get DRS in him, but we're definitely not going to get past him at this moment in time. So, lap 14, still up behind Romain Grosjean. So we've done near as damn it half the race now, and we don't really have a lot to show for it. I mean, we're getting past Romain Grosjean, but in the entire race we've gained 3 places, which isn't really much to write home about. I mean, I know the pit crew did kind of slightly screw us over, but considering in practice things were looking so good for us, that really hasn't translated into a good race. I mean, we've now caught back up to Nico Hulkenberg, and we're going to get past him again, but, you know, P12 is not really where I want to be. I mean, we've got Carlos Sainz up in 11th place, but he's, look at the map, he's a fair way ahead, and then Valtteri Bottas is a good few seconds further ahead as well. I mean, things right now are not looking too great, which is why I'm showing highlights from other drivers at this point. We got Sebastian Vettel, he's up behind Nico Rosberg and Daniel Ricciardo. So we got Rosberg getting past Ricciardo, and Vettel is going to capitalise on Ricciardo being out of position, and that's Vettel and Rosberg both getting past Daniel Ricciardo there. So, you know, things are looking slightly better for Vettel, because obviously he got off to a really poor start to this race. And up ahead, that's Carlos Sainz, who's had yet another engine blowout this series. And basically, generally, is just the Ferrari engine that is extremely unreliable in this game. But either way, it's moved us up into 11th place. Next up is our teammate Valtteri Bottas, who's just got... Valtteri Bottas has had a shocker of a race, really. And one good thing is Fernando Alonso. Him and I believe Jenson Button both started the race on softs, so they're coming in for their first pit stop now. So they jumped us in the pit, but they're going to be pitting onto the super softs. So we're not out of it just yet. We're in 11th, but we could very well get points. But obviously we're going to have both McLarens, but especially Fernando Alonso charging us at this point. So yeah, we're in the points place, but it's by no means safe. We're in 10th place right now, and now we've got Jenson Button in the pit. So this should promote us up to 9th place, which is almost acceptable for Williams, but considering the track and considering the upgrades we put to the car, yeah, 9th place, really, we should be doing better than that. And especially as Bottas is 1 place ahead of me as well, kind of showing us up. And look, we're about... I'm a few seconds ahead of Bottas, a few seconds ahead of Alonso, but Alonso setting the fastest lap. Anyway, for it's the Italian Grand Prix from a few days ago, but no, honestly, we have got to watch out for Alonso. I'm not too worried about him, but I was slightly worried. Apart from the fact we're on the second to last lap, I've caught up to Bottas by a few seconds. Alonso's caught up to me by a tiny amount, but realistically, I couldn't catch up to Bottas, and Alonso couldn't catch up to me. So it was an extremely boring end to the race. I mean, this is basically the only thing that happened. That is Nico Rosberg, after his shocker of a start to this race, is going to get past Kimi Raikkonen for what I believe is 2nd place this Grand Prix. So there we go. That's Nico getting past Kimi Raikkonen quite easily. And Nico was just a case of too little too late, really. So he could have maybe beaten his teammate. But I mean, Hamilton, we're watching the man right now, Lewis Hamilton. He got off to an amazing start. Qualified in 4th, you wouldn't have thought it after the first corner, as he's going to win the 2016 Russian Grand Prix. So well done to Lewis Hamilton, and basically he won that race from the first corner. So there you go, and that just shows how vital a good start can be, and you know, as a lesson he could learn for real life, you know, after the Italian Grand Prix where he got off to a less than perfect start. But anyway, coming around the last corner, beaten by our teammate, nearly beaten by McLaren, and we're going to come across the line in 9th place. So, considering where we qualified, it's alright, but should we have qualified down in 16th? Not really. All in all, it was an alright race. To be honest, the most impressive part of this race weekend was practice, actually. But there we go, Lewis Hamilton winning, and it's a good day for him. I mean, he's had quite a few good days this series already. There's Mercedes, they've had way too many good days already. I mean, we've only done 4 races yet, but it is Nico Rosberg in 2nd, Kimi Raikkonen in 3rd place. So, yeah, what is there to say, really? It's just, all in all, been a good day for Hamilton. Pretty good recovery drive for Rosberg. Raikkonen did very well to actually beat his teammate basically all weekend. And, yeah, I mean, there's cause for all three of those people on the podium to be elated with what they did today, because there were several people who just bottled good opportunities. Vettel, Ricciardo, you know, just some people who didn't do as well as those three. And on the race results, as we can see, Hamilton, Rosberg, Raikkonen, Vettel in 4th, Ricciardo 5th. Verstappen did very well once he got past me to finish 6th. Kvyat did very well with his home race to finish in 7th. Then it's obviously both Williams and then Alonso. And further down the field, not really too much to comment on. I mean, Carlos Sainz, his 2015 luck is returning, and yeah, only guy to retire. But that is it's just the Ferrari engine. That's one thing I've noticed. The Ferrari engine in this game is unreliable. I'd say basically the only people who retire are people with Ferrari engines and Nico Rosberg. That seems to be how the game's programmed. Drivers' Championship, not much has changed. Hamilton's extended his championship lead. We've actually dropped down places in the Drivers' Championship, but realistically, not a great deal happened in the championship this race. And yeah, I mean, further down the field, not really a lot to comment on, in all honesty. And I forgot to check the constructors' standings, so I check it on the laptop, and we're in 4th place. I mean, we didn't really do ourselves many favours because I think we need to finish 3rd in the constructors' championship. We didn't really do ourselves any favours by just generally doing worse than all 3 of the teams ahead of us, really. So yeah, generally, really, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and next time is the Spanish Grand Prix. And I can tell you, I've already recorded the Spanish Grand Prix. There is some chaos that happens in that race. It is a manic race, and for several different reasons, including crashes, safety cars, the pecking order changing, you guys need to check it out. So I'll see you guys then.